Alright, welcome back to Hot Topics TV. If you've never been here before, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button and let's get right into this story. The Trap Queen rapper, Fetty Wap, admitted that he participated in a massive drug trafficking racket that moved drugs from the West Coast to Long Island. He was part of a drug ring. Now he must pay the consequences. According to Billboard, Fetty Wap pleaded guilty on Monday to a conspiracy drug charge that carries a mandatory 5 years prison sentence. Now what that means is the judge has to start at 5 years when the judge is considering his sentence. The judge can go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, or hit him with just 5, or however many numbers, but he cannot get any less than 5. Admitting that he participated in this massive drug trafficking racket that moved the drugs from the West Coast to Long Island, the plea in Central Islip came before U.S. Magistrate Judge Stephen Loke. Loke? Gang? Yeah, okay, went over your head. Who had revoked his bond and sent him to jail 2 weeks ago. After the plea, he was returned to jail to await sentencing, though a date was not immediately set. Loke revoked the rapper's $500,000 bail secured by property he owns in Georgia after prosecutors said that Fetty Wap, whose real name is Willie Maxwell, threatened to kill a man during a FaceTime call in 2021, violating the terms of his pretrial release in his drug case. Fetty Wap was initially arrested last October on charges alleging that he participated in a conspiracy to smuggle large amounts of heroin, fentanyl, and other drugs into the New York City area. He pleaded guilty to conspiracy to distribute and possess controlled substances, the top charge in an indictment against him. Though the plea pertained only to cocaine, it carries a mandatory minimum sentence of 5 years in prison, while federal sentencing guidelines are likely to recommend about 2 additional years on top of those 5 years. The plea spared him a potential life sentence if he had been convicted on all the charges he faced. His lawyers did not immediately say anything to the media, but it seems as if everybody else in this case, because he wasn't the only one, his whole squad got hit. It seems like everybody else in this case already copped out as well, so he might as well go ahead and cop out. Are they snitching? I don't know. I don't think so. Maxwell, which is Fetty Wap, and 5 other co-defendants were accused of conspiring to possess and distribute more than 100 kilograms, which is 220 pounds of heroin. He was in it big. Fentanyl and crack cocaine between June of 2019 and June of 2020. The feds had them on their radar for that whole year. They were watching them from before that, but they had them on their radar for that whole year. This is where they picked up all the evidence from. This is where they gathered everything they were going to use against them mainly. Even in one instance, they intercepted a package. So Fetty Wap them had set up this dummy house, and at this dummy house stuff would come through the mail. Drugs would come through the mail, and then they would go over to that dummy house and pick it up. And the feds allowed them to pick it up and trailed them with it. So they knew. They have them on video. They have pictures of them picking it up. All that. 2 defendants also have pled guilty, and they are also awaiting their sentencing. The scheme already involved using the U.S. Postal Service and cars that had hidden compartments to move drugs, and they were stored for distribution on to dealers in the Long Island and in the New Jersey area. In other words, Fetty Wap them were doing it big. They knew the plug. And on this side of the coast, on the east side of the coast, they were the plug. Maxwell rose to prominence after Trap Queen His debut single reached number 2 on the US Billboard Hot 100 charts in May of 2015. I remember this song came out. He had everybody wanting to be a trap queen. Suddenly, all the little females became a trap queen and wanted a thug who was in a trap. The song was big. The Long Island arrest was not his first. In 2019, he was arrested in Las Vegas for allegedly assaulting 3 employees at a hotel casino. He was also arrested in November of 2017 on a DUI charge after the police said that he was drag racing on a New York City highway. You know, he's out there with the car with the big V10 in it, and he wanted to see how fast it went. That comes with being young and having a whole lot of money suddenly. Anyways, we wish Fetty Wap the best. If you ask me, I don't think he's going to do too well doing 5, 6, 7 years in prison. But when you make your bed, you got to lie in it. And on that note, I have nothing else to say. Now let's talk about the Brittany Griner situation. The WNBA female basketball player, champion, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, champion that got caught up 0.027 grams of oil, THC, in a vape cartridge, got her 9 years in prison in Russia. I said this before. It was a white female who had a whole lot, 19 grams of straight up hard ganja, weed. And she got 2 months. So it's already clear that Brittany Griner was, the perfect person to use as a target, to use as a bargaining chip, because Russia has people in the US or in prison in other parts of the world that the US is influential on keeping them there. Their main man that they're trying to get out, he's not incarcerated in the US, but he is incarcerated under orders of the US. The U.S. government on Monday strongly discouraged former NBA player Dennis Rodman from traveling to Russia to help secure the release of the detained WNBA star Brittany Griner. Apparently, Dennis Rodman, if y'all don't know who Dennis Rodman is, Dennis Rodman recently got inducted into the Hall of Fame. If you don't know about the old Bulls, Chicago Bulls, the franchise, when Michael Jordan, the greatest player that ever lived, next to LeBron James, if you don't know, when they played, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, and of course, Dennis Rodman, you need to go watch those clips. That's when basketball was really nice. Anyhow, he's lived a colorful life, okay? I mean, Dennis has never been normal. He's had all these piercings in his face. He was a wild boy. He was a bit eccentric. He was one of them who slept with Madonna, or Madonna flew him out to sleep with her and then flew him back in and dropped him off at the game in time for him to start the game. Like, he lives a wild life. He's always lived a wild and colorful life. Some ups and downs and all this other stuff. Neither here nor there. When I heard that he was about to go to Russia to try to secure Britney's release, I thought to myself, this could work. This could work because for some reason, he is liked in these places. Let's not forget, Dennis Rodman actually went before into other places that U.S. persons have been told by their governments not to go. And U.S. political personnel never went there. But Dennis flew in and had a ball. Kim Jong-un had the ball in the time of his life. Talking about, that's my friend. He traveled to Singapore in June of 2018 ahead of the president at the time, which was Donald Trump. When Donald Trump went for that historic summit in North Korea, leader Kim Jong-un, who is a big Chicago Bulls fan, was happy to see Dennis and received him like he was a star. I'm thinking to myself, what if Dennis Rodman actually went over there and used his influence to free Brittany Griner, something that it seems like the U.S. is having an issue doing. Anyways, let's not talk too much about the Brittany Griner situation. We hope for Brittany to make it home, and Russia has already said that if the U.S. publicizes their negotiation, all bets are off the table, and Brittany will have to do her full 9 years in whatever they gave her. But if they go about it through the channel with which they have established, which means keep it out of the media, have it done on a secured line, and do it quietly, then they will continue to negotiate and they will eventually make something happen. So because we want to see something happen and we want her to come home, we're not going to talk too much about it because we don't want them having ears to YouTube and being like, oh, there they go again. They're talking more about what they do not know. But honestly, I think if Dennis Rodman went over there, he would have been able to do it, to negotiate her release. Although, I don't know, because at this point, they want something in return. And Dennis, he don't have anything to give in return, especially not what they want, which is a prisoner swap, right? With that said, let's move right along. Now, Tevin Campbell, my friend, oh my God. See, when I was growing up, man, Tevin Campbell was that dude, okay? We all wanted to be like Tevin Campbell because he had that smooth voice, and every little female wanted a boyfriend that sang like Kevin, so we would go in the mirrors and try to pretend to sing like Kevin. Tevin, check it out. But there was one thing we knew about Tevin from way back when, and it was that he was type of effeminate. Well, he was effeminate in a time when people had to hide their sexuality. You know, the growth of the LGBTQ community has been a huge growth. I'm looking for the word. It's been like an explosion over the years, right? Back in the day, there was no LGBTQ. There was no umbrella for which gay or homosexual and bi people were protected under. There was no organization to back them. So you would have to be quiet about yourself, especially if you were famous, and black. You would have to be quiet about your sexuality. So Tevin used to sing songs about singing to the girls, and he wanted a girl. And you know, I'm ready to love you. Come love me forever now. And I started to write you letters, but I wanted to get down and sweet talk you. And we thought he was singing to a girl, so we would sing to a girl. Kind of like Sam Smith. Only difference is, well, ain't no difference. We thought they were singing to and Frank Ocean. Before these people came out, we thought they were singing to a girl. Only to find out that they were gay. And he's not the first singer. We just knew it from way back when. There was no confirmation. Anyways, Tevin Campbell shares how he's embraced his identity and has come out now as a gay man. Finally, the R&B child star also broke down why he couldn't come out sooner and what it means to see other black queer R&B stars right now thriving. Times have changed. He did a little interview with Billboard, and a part of it says, after a career in the public eye with huge chart-topping hits, lauded Broadway performances, and a much-beloved song in the 90s Disney classic, R&B star Tevin Campbell is ready to let fans in on a part of his personal life. In a new interview on the People Everyday podcast, Tevin confirmed that he identifies as a gay man and took a look back on what led him to officially open up to his fans. He said, "What makes me happiest right now is how far I've come in life." He said on the podcast, right? What makes him happiest right now is how far he's come in life. You know, there are a lot of child stars that just don't make it, but a lot of us do. And the fact that I'm one. The fact that I've embraced me. The fact that I've embraced me. That part. The part where he's lived long enough. He's not messed up on drugs. He is not out in the streets. He is not front page on anybody's tabloids where they're laughing at him and saying, oh my God, remember that kid that sang that song that was really popular back in the day? Look at him. He's on Rodeo Drive, butt naked, eating out of garbage cans. He's not doing good. He's actually lived. Not only lived, survived. Not only survived, thrived. And now he's at a place where he also has accepted him. So he doesn't care anymore to hide himself. And he's out in the open and he wants the world to know. Right? Fans have long speculated about Campbell's sexuality. But the singer has kept his private life out of the public eye since the inception of his career. But that speculation came to a head earlier this year when Tevin Campbell tweeted and later deleted the tweet. Tevin, followed by, he said, Tevin is blank, 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 followed by a rainbow flag emoji. He wanted to say Tevin Campbell is gay, but he thought about it and he deleted the tweet, but other people caught it. In the little seconds that he let it up there, other people saw it. So now he's out fully and he's like, you know what? I'm going to stop hiding. I don't have a reason to hide. It's 2022. I don't think anybody cares. So it's perfect timing to come out. And more power to you, Kevin, or Tevin. More power to you. You know what I mean? I'm one of the people that say, hey, man, live and let live. I'm not God, and I'm not here to govern anybody's life. So however anyone sees fit to live a happy, healthy, and fulfilling life, then go right ahead and do so. Your gripe, whatever the gripe may be, if there is one, is with the Almighty Creator who created us all. And I'm not that person. I don't even know if it's a he or a she. That's why I say I'm not that person, right? With that said, more power to him, and I wish him longevity and happiness. I'm happy to see that he is not one of the child stars that fell by the wayside. But again, he lived, survived, lived, flourished, and now has come to where he can accept himself, right? No big. Yeah, listen, back in the day, right? I believe, I don't want to be wrong, but radio personalities would play around with that. And it was one time where they said, I remember an interview with Tevin, and they said, oh, Tevin himself said he's a trisexual. And the interviewer asked him, this is about 15, 20 years ago. The interviewer asked him, what do you mean you're trisexual? He says, I'll try anything once. And I said back then, oh, yep, he is. Well, fast forward to today, here it is. No big surprise. Moving right along. Biggie Smalls. Biggie. Known as the greatest rapper that ever lived. The notorious B.I.G., arguably, unless you're talking about Tupac Shakur. His daughter is out here with her thug life husband or boyfriend putting up her house to keep him out of jail. Let's go with the details. All right. According to MSN.com, Biggie's daughter is who is Tyanna Wallace. Biggie sang about his daughter in his song. How they called the cops on him when he was just downstairs hustling and he was just trying to take care of his daughter, Tyanna. This is Tyanna. Tyanna is fully grown now. Biggie's daughter, Tyanna Wallace, she posts her boyfriend's $1 million bond after he did a hit and run. When you're a regular black man and they hit you with, okay, let me stop. When you are locked up and they hit you with, forget the regular black part. When you're locked up and they hit you with a $1 million bond, more than likely you won't make it out, because most of us can't come up with that to pay that. Okay? So for some reason, they wanted him there. Usually they would give this kind of a bond to somebody who they want locked up. So anyways, her man used his car, I guess, ran down some people, and she posted a $1 million bond for her longtime boyfriend, Tyshawn Baldwin, on Wednesday, August 10th. He was arrested for a hit and run that injured 3 people, including a mother and her toddler. I don't know if he was drunk driving. I don't know what the situation was, but he fled the scene due to having a suspended license after driving into a group of pedestrians, right? He ran into a mother, her 2-year-old daughter, a food delivery man. He just knocked over a couple of people and he really hurt them. They all succumbed to serious injuries. They all succumbed, meaning they died. Damn. He eventually surrendered himself to the authorities on Wednesday, August 17th, and his super I stand by my side woman, Tyanna, was there for him. The 28-year-old was arraigned on 17 counts of first-degree assault, reckless endangerment, endangering the welfare of a child, and other charges according to the press. Damn. The deed to her house was put up, a $1.5 million Brooklyn home, as collateral. Listen, he better not. He better not. And if he is convicted, he faces up to 25 years in prison, which I think he's going to be going away for a long, long time. But I guess she wants to spend some more time with him before, he goes away. Leave your comments in the comment section below and I'll catch you on the next video. You already know if the topic is hot, we're on it. Biggie must be rolling in his grave. I'm out. Peace.